Hello everybody, and once again welcome back to the channel. My name is Spellslinger and we are going straight into some more Master Duel content. If you missed the first video introduction yesterday, we are going to be having a ton of new series on the channel, free to play series, no money spent, solo mode, going in depth, looking at the lore of these archetypes that Konami has released so far, and then updating as they release more. But today, what we are going to do is we are taking a look at my Adamancipator list that I have been playing with. Got up to Plat 1 with it in just a couple days, just playing a couple hours every day. Super fun list. Block Dragon is back, is at 3 actually. O-Lion is in the game. Union Carrier, with just a ton of things that make this deck specifically viable again. And in my opinion, tier 0 if you play it correctly. Now, for my purposes here, we don't have a ton of going second cards, but I will go ahead and explain that as we go going forward. But if you would like to see more Master Duel content, please hit the subscribe button. Let me know what kind of series that you personally would enjoy seeing from the channel. Let me know. I would love to hear from you guys. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this unstoppable deck profile if you're just going into ladder. If this was a tournament setting, I would probably structure this deck a little bit different, but just for ladder, just for ranked ladder, this deck is perfectly fine the way it is, and I have had no issues at all, even up at Plat 1 going against, Drytron and Bird Up, Eldlich, anything you want to do, especially if you're going first. I'd say 99% of the time, 90-95% of the time, you will be absolutely fine. All right, let's get into this list. So one of the things that actually annoys me about Master Duel is that it doesn't let you structure the deck when you're building it in the way that you want. It kind of just orders all of your cards in whatever way it is. It's not even like alphabetical at all. I think it's just by monster level. Yeah, that seems to be the way that it goes. But with all of that being said, we'll go ahead and get into the card by card now. If you are unaware, Adamancipator is a Synchro rock-based archetype with all of the main deck tuners being able to excavate the top 5 cards of your deck and then special summon a level 4 or lower non-tuner rock monster should you hit it when you're excavating the top 5. And that specifically is why we play a ton of level 4 or lower non-tuner rock monsters, things such as Doki Doki, Koa'Ki Gaurdian, as well as Supplier, things like Prank Kids Rocksies, which is a great supplementary engine for Adamancipator in general, and then also another supplementary Adamancipator Crystal Dragite, just for draw power. But with that being said, we'll go ahead and get into it. 3 copies of all of the main deck Adamancipator monsters, 3 copies of the Researcher, can special summon itself if there's another rock monster on the field besides herself. Adamancipator Seeker, who can special summon himself if there is another Adamancipator monster on the field besides himself. And then, of course, Adamancipator Analyzer, who can special summon himself if only your opponent controls a monster. Now, with all of that being said as well, we play a ton of these level 4 or lower non-tuner rock monsters. We play 2 copies of Doki Doki. I was playing this at 3, but the general consensus to make room for other cards is that you play this at 2. Doki Doki has a really good extension effect. Discard a rock monster and then special summon a rock monster that has the same original attribute and level as the monster that you discarded, and you can special summon that from deck. So if it's just really good extension, if you're able to summon Doki Doki off of an Adamancipator effect, then you can just keep extending off of that, pitching, special summoning, just more effects, and you can even get, special summon the tuners from deck should you have the appropriate cards in hand to discard for the effect. We're playing Koa'Ki Gaurdian. We play 3 copies of this. This cannot be cut down to 3, specifically because it is a monster effect negation, and you need to see this as often as possible before you hit your 5 summons, because this deck, while it doesn't lose to Nibiru, it is very much hindered by Nibiru. So we play the Guardian. It's just insulation from hand traps, Nibiru, Ash, Maxi, whatever it may be. So you always want to see Guardian and make sure that you can try to insulate yourself as much as possible as early on, so you can continue your combos without the threat of Nibiru going over your head. After that, we are playing, I'll do the Rocksies last. Along the same lines, Koa'Ki Supplier, same type of deal, not with the effect negations, but it's just a good extender. If a rock monster you control is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand, and then if it's special summoned, you can add a Koa'Ki card from your deck to your hand, which will be Koa'Ki Gaurdian, and you always want to trigger that effect because we need fodder for, of course, our block dragons special summons. So we play 3 of this, just a good extender. It's also good, you can chain block Halquifibrax, you can chain block a lot of things that would, special summon or, add from deck to hand, stuff like that. So play 3 of this, adds material, stuff to your hand, just really good card. We play that. We play 1 of the Crystal Dragite. If it's special summoned off of the effect of an Adamancipator card, you can draw a card. It's just good to, keep drawing things. Not a whole lot to say there, just, it is something, another rock monster that we play, so we can special summon off of the effect of the main deck tuners. So we play that. And then the last 3 that we are playing Prank Kids Rocksies. So this is, of course, monsters and things that we can special summon off of the main deck tuners, but we play the Rocksies and the Prank Kids specifically because we go into more link climbing plays. We go into the Meow-Meow-Mu. We go into the Doodle-Doo. So basically the combo is summon out the Rocksies, link that into the Meow-Meow, and then the Rocksies triggers in graveyard, banish a card from your hand, and then special summon the copy of Droppsies that we play. And then you can use those 2 to go into the Doodle-Doo, the Droppsies triggers in graveyard, you gain 1,000 life points, and then you can special summon a second copy of Rocksies, and then just like that, you have a total of 3 materials off of a single Rocksies. So that is why we play that, and we like link climbing because of all the extra deck monsters that we play in the extra deck to get to things like Apollousa, Knightmare Unicorn to go into Accesscode, things like that. So it's just a really good card to play. I wouldn't personally recommend playing any less than 3, and I think that's the general consensus as well. So after that, after the Rocksies and the Prank Kids engine explained, after that we are playing 2 copies of Gigantes. We played 2 specifically because it is an amazing extender. Things that you would like to see it's not the worst thing to see in your opening hand because you can extend further with it, but typically what we do is we grab it off of Block Dragon's effect. Because we can grab the Gigantes and we can still get a total of 4 levels, so we can get the Researcher and the Seeker. But I typically like to play 2 of this. One I found was not the best, because if we're going into a grind game, we like to see multiple copies of this, and especially in grindier matchups like I was saying, just really good to be able to get bodies on the field. It's also spell and trap removal. If it's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you destroy all spell and traps on the field. So in the video that I posted yesterday, there was a replay where I was domain locked. I was playing against Monarch. They went first, set up domain lock, couldn't summon from the extra deck. I summoned Gigantes, attacked into something, took a little bit of battle damage, but destroyed all spell and traps, went full combo with this deck, and was able to just absolutely dominate from there. So it's secondhand spell and trap removal because we aren't playing any in the main deck right now, which is why I prefer to play 2 over just the 1, but we play 2 of this. After that, we are playing 2 of the Madolche Petingcessoeur. It is just a level 4 body, but it's also an earth, so fodder for Block Dragon as well. If you control or if there's no cards in your graveyard, then you can special summon this card from your hand. You need to see this in your opening hand to get a really good, to be able to utilize it properly. We're only playing 2. I needed to make room for other cards. I was playing it at 3, but it was a little bricky at times because you would just draw it midway through the game, especially in grindy games. It's not the best, and you want to see other cards while you're excavating. So 2 is fine. I haven't had any issues with it thus far. I've been playing a lot of games with it. No complaints. Just a good way to get your combos going initially. Alright, and then after that, the man of the hour, Block Dragon. I cannot believe that that Block Dragon is legal. He is the reason that this deck is playable and is at the top of the meta. And in the first place, it's been so long. I was playing Adamancipator when Secret Slayers was released in the TCG, and I'm so sad that I never got to play it in an actual event. when because of COVID and all of the shutdowns and stuff like that. But I'm able to play with it now in Master Duel, so I'm very happy about that. Play 3 Block Dragon. You can special summon it from your hand or graveyard by banishing 3 earth monsters from your hand or graveyard, and then rock monsters you control cannot be destroyed except for by battle. So all of basically your entire deck, your Risen Dragite, your Risen Raptite, if you had this, then it couldn't be destroyed by card effects. But you play 3, but the most broken effect by far, if it's sent to the graveyard, you can add rock monsters from your deck to your hand whose total levels equal 8. And wouldn't you know, Analyzer, Researcher, and Seeker all add up to 8. And if you're going into turn 2 or 3, Gigantes is a 4, 2, and 2. So it's just the most broken card, one of the most broken cards ever printed, and it took Adamancipator being printed for this card to become broken, but this card just makes this deck so unbelievably powerful. It is absolutely insane. So you play 3 no matter what, and there's a play where you set up your IP Masquerena and Block Dragon, so you can link away IP Masquerena and Block Dragon on your opponent's turn to go into Unicorn. You spin away a card on your opponent's turn, and you can trigger Block Dragon's effect on your opponent's turn to just set you up for more and more advantage going into your following turn. This deck is just so insane. The resource, the resource advantages that you can get are so easy to do. Everything is just too easy with this deck. But the tuner, the last couple cards that we're going to talk about in the main deck, O-Lion is also legal. That is awesome. You summon that off of the Halquifibrax. Easy, easy, easy. If it's sent to the graveyard, you special summon a token. You can link that off into the Link Spider, and then just more fodder for Apollousa is what I use that for. And then because Union Carrier is legal as well, we play the 1 copy of Dragon Buster Destruction Sword to equip that onto the Borreload Savage Dragon to cut our opponent off of the extra deck. This deck is just insane. I cannot believe that they decided to make Block Dragon legal. I've been having so much fun with this deck overall. It's just absolutely amazing. And then the last 3, Sekka's Light. If you open this, most likely they will decide to ash this, and if they don't, it's just Pot of Greed. And then you can, there's a couple bricks that are a couple garnets that we play in the deck, things like the Buster Dragon and the Mecha Phantom Beast, as well as the Droppsies. So if you open Sekka's Light and the Droppsies, Mecha Phantom Beast, or the Destruction Sword, you can use the graveyard effect to shuffle back the bricks into the deck and draw a card. Just fix your hand. It's so good. But if you wanted to play a going second card, you could replace this with Lightning Storm or anything else that you wanted to. But yeah, that's it for the main deck. The only spells that you're playing is Sekka's Light because of the effect of Sekka's Light. You can't activate spell or trap cards except for Sekka's Light for the rest of the duel by its effect, which is completely fine. The entire deck is just made up of monsters, but that's completely fine. We'll move on to the extra deck. I've got a copy of Herald. This I've been considering cutting for Abyss Dweller because of how many players are playing Eldlich and back row decks, especially because Skill Train is at 3. I've been considering cutting this because this is not part of the end board, but if you get into late grindy games, it's very easy to make another rank 4 with how many we have. So I've been considering cutting this for Abyss Dweller, and I think I might just do that. We play 1 copy of the Raptite. It has the same effect as the main deck tuners, except if you it doesn't have the level or tuner restriction. So if you excavate 5 and you hit one of the tuners, you can summon them. Or if you play things like Nibiru and you hit that, then you can summon a Nibiru. It's weird, but it does come up. Unfortunately, you can't summon the Block Dragon because it has the cannot be normal summon. It must be special summoned from your hand or graveyard by banishing the 3 earth monsters. Which is unfortunate, and the same thing goes for Gigantes. It must first be special summoned. so you won't be able to hit that. But we are playing plenty of other things to hit off of the Raptite. So we do that, and then it's also a DD Crow effect. You can banish from your opponent's graveyard if you control, or if a wind monster is in your graveyard. And we do play the O Lion. And that's going to be a part of your play every time. So if you're forced to end on the Raptite, you have a DD Crow for your opponent, and that can be activated on your and your opponent's turn, which is really good. The next card we're playing here, Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. It's another card where I've been considering replacing it. It's come up a couple times in really grindy games, but I've been considering cutting this for another Synchro 6, because currently this is the only thing. Raptite is the only monster I have that can go into, that the level 2 synchros can synchro into off of level 4s. Mostly just relying on the analyzers to go into secondhand things like the Dragite. We try to end on both of these, which is fine, but if we get into grindy games, it becomes a little bit of a problem. But Crystal Wing has come up a couple times, has been really clutch. This would be the only other thing that I would consider cutting going into Season 2 here pretty soon. Of course, Borreload Savage Dragon, pretty self-explanatory. It's just super generic. We play the Link monsters to attach the equip card to get the kit to get it negates and the attack bonus. The Crystal Dragite, spell and trap negation, as well as a bounce back effect. The excavation effect, you can bounce back cards from your opponent's field up to the number of rocks that you excavate off of the 5, which is great. So there's that. Play the 1 copy of Gallant Granite. 90% of the time when we make this, we're going to be searching Block Dragon if we don't open it in our opening hand. Otherwise, we can just get extenders such as the Researcher or the Seeker, just to keep extending. 1 copy of the Link Spider for the Mecha Phantom Beast token. Or if we get Nibiru, then we can link that off as well. 1 copy of the Meow-Meow-Mu for the Prank Kids line, like I was saying earlier. 1 copy of the Hulk, super easy to make, really good extender. Summon out the Mecha Phantom Beast token, the Dodo-Doodle-Doo. Just more of the Prank Kids combos. 1 copy of IP Masquerena, just really good, like I was saying earlier. Link this off as well as Block Dragon on your opponent's turn to just keep gaining advantage. 1 copy of Union Carrier to equip the Buster Whelp onto the Borreload. And then Knightmare Unicorn, this is what we go into off of the IP Masquerena on your opponent's turn. To spin back cards on your opponent's turn. And then 1 Apollousa, we end on this going first. And we can normally get it to 2300, and an Accesscode Talker going second, or afterwards, just to clean up. This deck is awesome. I'm gonna get into test hands here in a minute, or replays, testing, going through hand traps, going through everything. You can play through so much interruption with this deck. It's not even funny. It's just so good. I love this deck. I loved it when it came out. I'm so happy that we get to play with it in Master Duel. I hope they don't touch it in any way. I love this deck. One thing that I forgot to mention, main deck, obviously, we play 2 copies of Ash, and we play, 3 copies of Ash, 3 copies of Maxx. See, this is why I would love to be able to organize the deck layout myself, so I don't forget these things. But yeah, our hand traps of choice, Maxx and Ash. And if you wanted to replace the Sekka's Light for another copy of whatever, you absolutely can. I prefer to play the Sekka's Light just for draw power and fixing the hand if we end up bricking later on. But yeah, this is the base that I have right now. Couple changes that I would make to the extra deck going forward for Abyss Dweller, and I think another Synchro 6, maybe the Leonite, something like that. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get into some replays, going over the main combo going first and through hand traps and whatnot. But thank you for sticking around. If you like some more Master Duel content, please let me know. I'm having such a fun time with this deck. I'm going to try my best to keep churning out content like this on a daily basis. But thanks for sticking around, and we will get into the combo tutorials right now. Okay, so I want to preface this replay as a couple things. First, I will be showing the going first combo in its entirety, kind of giving you tips and tricks along the way, but also I'm going to be playing this replay in its entirety for the simple reason of it was a absolutely crazy game. So we'll go ahead and get into this here. Now, our opening hand here, Researcher, Gigantes, Rocksies, Petingcessoeur, and Supplier. This is a great opening hand. You can do a ton of things with this hand, and I'll show what I end up doing. So we are going first. We activate the effect of the Petingcessoeur, special summoning it. We normal summon the Rocksies, special summon the Researcher. So this does a ton of things. Board establishment, priority 1, but also if we wanted to early, we could go into a Gallant Granite to grab the Block Dragon since we did not open it. So there's a ton of things that we can do here depending on what we hit off of this Researcher. So we're going to go ahead and excavate off of this. We hit Doki Doki, and I think that is all we end up grabbing here. So yeah, we end up grabbing Doki Doki, activating the effect, pitching the Supplier, grabbing a Gaurdian. Now, the specific reason, I'll pause it now, the specific reason that we grabbed the Gaurdian was because that was the 5th summon, and we want to make sure that we are insulated from Nibiru specifically, since this is just a crazy combo deck. Now, we grab the Gaurdian, and then we immediately link the Rocksies into Meow, do our Prank Kids combos, banish the Gigantes, and draw a card. We drew Ash, and then just special summon the Droppsies, go into more of the Prank Kids plays. Droppsies effect, gain 1,000 life points, get out our ranks. So now we exceed into the Gallant Granite. Gallant Granite effect obviously adds the Block Dragon so we can extend even further. Special out the Block Dragon, and then this is where we go into our 3 material Apollousa, so 3 monster negates, 2,400 attack. And then because we used the Block Dragon as material sent to the graveyard, we can add a Gigantes, Seeker, and a Researcher. So get specialty Gigantes, and then Synchro 6 into our Risen Raptite, and just keep extending from here. Raptite's effect, we can go ahead and go into Supplier. I think that's what we go into. No, we hit the Analyzer, and since we haven't used that's effect, we can continue to extend. Most important thing when you're going for the Adamancipator plays now, mid to late turn, is you want to be able to make sure you're extending. If you know that your opponent doesn't have access to Nibiru, like if you're insulated by a Gaurdian or an Apollousa, then you can just go extend as far as you can. We went into the Raptite, got out the Analyzer, and then the Analyzer effect went into the Crystal, and now we can draw a card, just another Earth for Block Dragon. But now we are going to go into our Dragite, which is our Spell and Trap negation because we have Halquifibrax and Droppsies. We go into Union Carrier with the other 2 monsters, just setting up for later, and with the cards that we added off of Block Dragon, we are just going further and further into our plays. So Seeker will excavate and hit a Doki Doki. We're going to go ahead and Synchro into our Borreload Savage Dragon, activate the effect of the Borreload Savage Dragon. We're going to equip the Dodo-Doodle-Doo, giving it 2 negates, and then equipping the Buster Dragon, so we can get the Buster Lock. Now they are offline for their extra deck, and also boosting our Borreload Savage up to 5,000 attack. We're really getting into our end board now. So far 3 monster negates, a Spell and Trap negation, and an Omni negate. And now what we are going to do, link 2 into our IP Masquerena. IP Masquerena is there, and then the last thing we are going to do, of course, we are going to banish another 3 to bring out Block Dragon, and this is our ideal end board. This is what we strive to hit. We strive to hit 2,400, a 3 material Apollousa, a Borreload Savage Dragon with either Prank Kids, the Dodo, or a Halquifibrax equipped, with the Buster Dragon equipped from Union Carrier, the Dragite, Spell and Trap removal, and then we can't do much with Union Carrier because we can't link it the same turn it was summoned, but the other thing is the IP Masquerena and Block Dragon. We use this, like I explained in the deck profile. We can use IP Masquerena's effect to link summon on our opponent's turn, going into a Knightmare Unicorn. with the IP and the Block Dragon. And like I was saying, it does two things. If we summon the Unicorn, we can spin back and interact on our opponent's turn with Unicorn's effect. And we can also draw a card because it'll be co-linked with this guy. And then because we send off the Block Dragon, we can then add more rocks to our hand on our opponent's turn. And then when it gets passed back to us, we can go into more Block Dragon plays after that. But this is the end board that we strive to hit. And then also Block Dragon's effect protects Dragite from effect destruction. All, rock monsters are protected and can only be destroyed by battle. So that's really cool. Ton of negation, interaction, and then, Ash in hand, and then good follow-up for next turn as well. Now I'm just going to go get into the rest of this replay because it was kind of crazy how this game played out. So we'll go ahead and get into it now. Our opponent's turn, they draw, and they hit us with a Dark Hole. Now, of course, we chain the Borreload here, but then they chain Forbidden Droplets, sending 2 and hitting our Borreload and Block Dragon. So now we're kind of screwed. Our entire board is now gone. This hit me out of nowhere. It was a really good play on their part. The only good thing here is that we get the Block Dragon effect to add even more rocks, which is the only solace I could take after that, after our entire board being hit. They activate the Foolish Burial. We go ahead and Ash that. Since we still don't know what they're playing, only 2 cards left in hand. They go ahead and summon out the Buzzsaw Shark, getting out the Right-Hand Shark, and the Silent Angler. They overlay these 2 for Bahamut, activate the effect of Bahamut to bring out the Toad. Good old Totally Awesome. Limited to 1 for some reason. And then rank up into the Drill Driver Vespinato. Battle phase, get in for damage. We're not dead here, which is great. And we have tons of plays to make here. We're left with 2,700, more than enough to make a comeback here. So our turn, draw phase, we draw Maxx, fine. We have all of the main deck tuners, gonna special summon the Analyzer, special summon the Seeker, special summon the Researcher. Now activate the effect of the Analyzer, and we'll go digging Guardian. Perfect. Now we are insulated from Toad's effect. If they did want to try to negate something with Toad, now we go into our effect of Researcher, another Guardian, which is great. If they were able to get another effect going, now we have 2 Guardians. We're going to go ahead and link these 2 into our Halquifibrax, since we did not go into that in our opening hand, or on our first turn, which we can, but we didn't. And now we link these into the Unicorn. Just trying to get the Totally Awesome since we're there. Target the Totally Awesome. They're forced to activate there to negate our Unicorn. We go ahead and chain the Guardian to negate the Toad's effect, and that chain resolves. Resolving backwards, Guardian, then Toad. Toad is resolved negated. O-Lion gets the token, and Unicorn, since there's no more target, nothing else will happen. They go ahead and activate the effect of Toad in the graveyard, which is fine. They just add back a monster from the grave. Now we're going to go ahead and link into Link Spider using the Mecha Beast token, and from here, we go ahead and link into Accesscode Talker. And from here, it's pretty much GG's from here. Activate the effect from the Drill Driver, and I believe we chain... Oh, no, we do. We don't. That's totally fine. We just use the effect of Accesscode Talker a couple more times, get out Block Dragon, and from there, that is game. So, thank you guys for watching. This game was so much fun that when they played the Dark Hole chained with a Forbidden Droplet, I thought it was over, but then Block Dragon came through for us, giving us just a ton of follow-up there. So if you guys have any questions about this deck, feel free to ask in the comments. I'd be more than happy to go into more detail about questions that you have with the deck. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. And also just any more questions about Master Duel, let me know what kind of content you want to see. The video that I put out yesterday, someone commented saying that they wanted this the combo tutorial and the deck profile. I'd be more than happy to do more content that you guys want to see. Other than that, if I don't hear from you guys, I'll just be putting out more content that I want to put out. stuff that I've already mentioned, but I'm having a ton of fun with this game. I hope you guys are too, and we will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully, with more Master Duel content. Have a great day, you guys.